I'm Adrian Huang, and
I'm Preston Huang.
we own Ninth East Dental and Canyon Road Dental in Provo, Utah. So right after I graduated from dental school, I moved to Arizona, and I opened a couple of practices down there. And while I was in Arizona, my brother Preston, he was actually looking for a job, so he was my dental assistant actually for a few years while I was down there. And while I was down there for about 10 years, after that, I decided to relocate up here to Utah, and I sold the practices down in Arizona and became up here.
So after being a dental assistant for a few years for my brother, I did end up going to dental school. I went to University of the Pacific in San Francisco, and after graduating, I moved up here to Utah and ended up working in a few different offices right after graduation, just to kind of figure out where I wanted to be and gain some experience.
So the practice up here that I started was a startup, and I just barely rounded the corner. It took me about a year to get things up and running. And it was a winter day in February, and the snow was coming down hard, so I canceled all of my patients, and this is bad karma to do that, by the way. I canceled my patients, and I went up and I went snowboarding instead of working. So when I did that, it was kind of blizzarding up there, so I couldn't see very well. So, and I'm making excuses right now, but at the same time, I had a really bad accident and I broke my neck. I broke C6, C7 of my vertebrae, and I could have been paralyzed, but they had to take me on the sled of shame down from the top of the mountain and straight into emergency surgery. And I was in the ICU for a while. And because of that, I mean, the last thing on your mind you want to worry about is your dental practice, but it does come to mind because you have all these patients, you have staff, you have overhead, you have all these things going wrong. And if you're not there and you can't even physically go in to do anything about it, you really need a partner, you need help. So I called my brother, who he immediately quit all 3 of his jobs to come over and take over the practice. And that's a big job, to go and take over that much responsibility when you're just pretty much fresh out of school. So I was kind of directing from my bedside while I had the that collar on, and he was doing everything. He did a great job with all of the patients, and the practice actually grew while I was gone. So I realized that maybe the practice doesn't need me that much, but on the other hand, I did realize that I needed a really good partner. And Dr. Preston, my brother, he's a great partner, and we've been partners for a long time because of it.
So after I joined the practice and we started growing bigger and bigger, it became evident that we probably needed some help, especially when we got our second office. We decided that we probably should start looking into partnering with somebody that could help us grow our business faster, and that's when my brother actually found an ad from MB2.
Right. So I just saw this ad. I can't even remember where I saw it, if it was in a magazine or if it was a mailer or something like that. It said DPO, Dental Partnership Organization. And I kind of rolled my eyes because I'm thinking, oh, it's another just repackaging of DSOs, and they're just going to hit me with the same stuff. And so I figured, though, I'd give them a call and just see if it really was something that was different than the normal business model out there for DSOs. So I gave them a call and I talked to a few different people, and they kind of told me how they're different, how we could kind of keep our own autonomy, and we could kind of work and do things how we always had in the past. And that what was working for us, they didn't really want to change that. And so that got me interested because I wanted to keep things going the way they were, because we have a good partnership where sometimes we go in and our patients, it's almost seamless. Like, our patients don't even know which doctor they're seeing sometimes because we have the mask on and we kind of look the same, and not exactly the same, but he looks better than I do. But at the same time, it's been fun, kind of keeping the culture the way it has been. So we were glad that we didn't have to change that. So this wasn't a really quick decision for us. It wasn't. We actually took our time. We actually considered it for about a year and a half. So we kind of went through all the numbers. We were really meticulous about what we decided, who we wanted to partner with. We took it very seriously. And just when we were getting ready to close, MB2 called and said, hey, guess what? You guys are office number 300. And we thought, wow, what a huge number. And also, not all the practices that went before us and all the practices that will go after us, and how amazing all the practices are that are involved with MB2. And yeah, it was just kind of like that's a big, nice round number, you know. So at the same time, we were kind of talking about this earlier this afternoon with some other MB2 representatives that we work with, and we were kind of talking about there was a car accident in Washington, D.C., where a car hit a curb and it went up over the curb, and some people got trapped underneath the car, and a bunch of people ran out, and, you know, bystanders, and they went and lifted the car. A bunch of people lifted the car and freed the people from underneath the car. I kind of feel like that's the kind of partnership that I want to be a part of, is one where if everybody lifts and everybody does their portion, you can accomplish great feats together. Whereas if it's just you alone, you can only do so much. Although I have seen some pictures of people lifting cars by themselves, but I'm not one of those people. I can't do it. So having 300 partners that were all invested in doing the same, having the same goal, and invested in each other's success, and everybody's working hard towards their success, I think that's how, that's our attitude approaching it, is we want to be feeling like we're good contributors, that we're helping everyone else have success through our hard work and for our doing our best here in Provo, Utah, which I don't know how to run a dental practice in Kansas City, Missouri, or I don't know how to run one in Florida, but I know there's people that do, and I have confidence that they will. And together, as we lift and we work hard in our spaces that we're in, all of us can win.
The experience of joining MB2 has been really great so far. They've been very open lines of communication have been between us and them, and being able to provide what they need, and also having them to look at our practice and examine areas and where we could grow and we can improve as well. And the important thing for us, though, like he had mentioned before, was that we really wanted to be with a partner that would allow us to continue doing things the way we like to do them, including, you know, how we manage our staff and what their responsibilities are. Not a lot has had to change there, and it's been really positive experience, you know, and encouraging, looking forward, that we can grow and expand our practices, but then also maintain the same feeling in our practice that we've had for all these years.